I suck at spider. Every single time there's a spider section in an extreme demon or whatever I'm playing, I always have to spend hours trying to get consistent at it, and it never works. Like the spider section in sweater weather, I spent hours on it and I just couldn't get it. Most of my time gets spent on wave levels like Cataclysm like this, or Bloodbath, ship levels like this, mostly straight fly and stuff. And then even some random robot levels like this. So I picked a new icon because my old one wasn't working, and I decided to hop into some challenges. The first few challenges were pretty easy, like that one said easy. They just weren't much of a challenge. I breezed through them without much difficulty. I mostly struggled with those spiders. My slow spiders gets harder and harder, but it did not get struggle with quick. And this one was the first one I actually kind of struggled at. It was like pretty fast paced. I'm very bad at fast paced spider. Whatever. That is mostly my channel. This one was times 4, like one of those GD brain rot things. And but here it was times 4, but it was still pretty easy. And then there was this one. This was the first one I actually struggled with. This one was very impossible. It just I was not to the skill yet. I had times 4 speed. I was trying to do no clip runs. I never seen. They just went. I decided to do a bunch of no clip runs, and I just couldn't get. I had like 80%. All my runs were just like 90%. This is just one of my runs. It just was not those 2 clicks, but like that I could barely do like 2. I hit like 1 click in each section, so that was awful. Yeah, I decided to skip. I decided to skip that one. Maybe come back to it later. And then, so this next one was the first one that I thought actually challenged me that I could maybe beat. Because it started with some slow spider, not at 47%. Then it went into the times 4. I think this one again way better. I'm absolutely terrible. So I tried to do it for a little bit. This was the main struggle. I decided that it was a little bit too tricky. I'm not sure right now. I decided I was going to come back to it later, so I decided I was going to come back at the end. I did this one really quick after all these challenges and the level. This one was just a random. So this one was just random. Pick choose spider or whatever. This one was not too tricky, but not too hard. I think this was the only one I beat in this section of challenges that was actually like hard, and I actually beat it. So my worst death on this one was like 74, I think, and it was like the last click, so it was unfortunate, but it was not too hard. It took me a little bit though, and then this one was pretty easy. All I had to do was really get past like the first couple clicks, and the rest was like pretty easy, like easy demon difficulty. So after I got past the first clicks, it was like I did have a last click death, but it was pretty easy. So then I decided to move on to a spider heavy level in Finger Dash version 2. Because, I mean, Finger Dash introduces spiders, so it has to have, like, spider parts is the hardest part. So this is the first spider part. It's not too hard. A little bit of times 4, which I really struggle with. Here was my first practice run, and I did it pretty fast, so it wasn't that hard, and a little bit slow. And then there was this ship. This ship is actually pretty hard. It wasn't, like, and then this robot. It was so hard for some reason. Probably wasn't for other people, but it just was for me for some reason. And then these waves, I'm pretty wave carried, so they weren't too hard for me. The waves, like, it took a couple of attempts on the first practice run, but it was pretty easy after that. And then just an ending cube with 2 last clicks, just 2 easy clicks, right? That's what I was hoping for. And then I did some, very intense practicing. And just getting it down, not like going for any huge runs, but just trying to get more consistent, the more runs I do. And then I decided to go from 0, and the first run from 0 I got a new best, and it wasn't a spider attempt, but it was pretty far, and I'll take it. It was just before the pre-drop, so I'll just skip ahead real fast. And yeah, 30%. I just didn't click for some reason. And then this was my first next new best at the spider. It was a weird death. I just forgot to hold the dash orb for some reason. 45. And this was my next new best, my first robot attempt. A bit of a fluke from 45. Made it all the way to 66. Yeah, that little spike on the robot is so annoying. And then I went in a bit of a dry spell here, not really getting much progress, no new bests, just slowly building consistency though. And this level gets very consistent. So this was my next new best. Actually, no, this wasn't the best. This was just a random good attempt. And then finally I made it past the robot. And then I made it to the wave and I just kept going. It didn't stop. And then I finally got a last robot attempt. And I actually fluked the last wave too. And that last robot. And then I just forgot how to do this. So first 90% death. I mean, maybe the first of many, maybe the only one. We'll see. And then I went on another dry spell, not really getting anything. So that was unfortunate. And then, of course, the robot killed me. It's this another robot attempt. I think these were all back to back to back here. And then I got another wave attempt. And, of course, I passed it. So the waves are not too hard. And then I got another spider attempt. And then this second wave, that second wave is a lot harder in my opinion. It's still not that hard though. And then another last wave attempt, and this is the completion, right? All right, so last 2 clicks, I forgot what to do. I exited out because I panicked after that. And then another deep play. This is the completion, right? Even worse, 98. So 191, 197, and 198 death on this level. So, but I do think my spider consistency is improving. I just felt the spider improving. So finally I beat the level, and I decided to go back to that other spider challenge I was failing earlier, and I actually beat it pretty quick. It did not take that long. I think I was just clicking too fast. So yeah, I mean, after this I just died to a random bug at the end. But of course, since I'm wave carry, I had to assert dominance with the wave, beating a quick insane wave challenge, and that's about it. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, because I'm on the road to 50 subscribers. Just hit 40 earlier today, and I would greatly appreciate it. And goodbye.